is being recorded.
Okay, everybody, let me just turn this down right there. And thank you all for coming tonight, and welcome to this 30-minute meeting that we do every Wednesday night here with Dr. Joel Wallach. Legally, we must say this meeting is for educational and entertainment purposes only. What you hear tonight is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure. And that being said, it takes a great discipline and changes in our mindset and habits to have these protocols work. So we're here tonight to seek the true science-based clinical advice on the use of nutrition, and when we do that, we do feel better. So if you have a desire to make a 90-day change in your lifestyle, you've come to the right place. And Dr. Joel Wallach has done a lot of research. He has a great development team, and he's done some remarkable things out on the road and many other places that many of you probably already gone there and you didn't realize Dr. Wallach contributed so much to those places, such as the zoos and aquariums in the whole wide world. So to be respectful, we please ask you to mute your phones. And after about a 15-minute introduction here, Dr. Wallach, he will open up the call and you'll be able to ask questions. So please write them down, raise your hand in the chat, and without further ado, we bring you Dr. Joel Wallach.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Pam and Dave, for all you do, and we're family. And today I want to talk about something very common, simple nutritional deficiencies, type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, and reactive hypoglycemia. Each year in America, we spend $342 billion, $342 billion each year in America just to treat the symptoms of type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, and the reactive hypoglycemia. This is not to prevent it or cure it. This is just to treat the symptoms. 342 billion, that's scary. Well, it turns out that diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is a simple nutritional deficiency, okay? Type 1 diabetes, and okay, I should tell you that type 2 diabetes makes up 98% of the diabetic population. 1.5 to 2% of the diabetes is type 1 diabetes. This is a birth defect. Babies are born with it. It's not a genetic thing, but mamas are missing stuff when the pancreas is forming in the embryo, okay? And the part of the pancreas, okay, that actually makes the insulin is not, what should I say, it doesn't have enough nutrition to build itself properly, okay? And so that's what's going on with type 1. And that's not a repairable thing, but it is something that we can deal with it once you know what it is. Thirdly, there's something called hypoglycemia, reactive hypoglycemia. Okay, and you see this with people, they'll eat a big dinner and 30 minutes later they're falling asleep because their blood sugar is dropping so low. Okay, and so what we want to do here is make sure that everybody's getting their 90 essential nutrients. You got to stay away from all the bad foods to maximize absorption. No fried foods, no processed meats. We're talking about ham and bacon and bologna and salami and pastrami and pepperoni and jerky and hot dogs and all that kind of stuff, and all the chemicals in there. And then also, we need to stay away from, let's see here, oils. For salad dressings, you can use things like lemon juice and things like yogurt. Okay, if you want a creamy dressing, use yogurt, but you cannot use the oily dressings. And then absolutely no gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, no oats. In oats, the gluten is called gliadin, and it's just as bad as the ones called gluten, okay? It destroys your intestinal lining. You look like a shag rug. But when you get the gluten or gliadin from wheat, barley, rye, and oats, it makes your intestines look like a plastic tube. You lose 98% of your absorptive surface. Then no buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but buckwheat has Fago, F-A-G-O pyrines, which are 10 times worse than gluten. No sugar. Absolutely no carbonated drinks. That includes the diet drinks, and also that includes the carbonated water, because carbonated water and carbonated diet drinks also neutralize stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food, including the things that are necessary to prevent and reverse type 2 diabetes and manage type 1 diabetes and reactive hypoglycemia. Then you want to make sure that you're getting all the good stuff. I only weigh 142 pounds, but I dose myself for a 200-pound person, okay? Per 100 pounds of body weight, every month, you want to take one healthy brain and heart pack per month. You weigh 135, 140 pounds. You have diabetes, I'd go ahead and take 2 of those healthy brain and heart packs per month. Take a full dose for breakfast, full dose at dinner time. Get 2 bottles a month of the, let's see here, MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. Then I want you to also stay away from buckwheat again, right? And we want you to actually take our sweeties, get our sweeties, and take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they will support healthy blood sugar levels, the sweeties, okay? They give your tissues, your pancreas what it needs, your blood what it needs to manage your blood sugar. You can go to a pharmacy without prescription and get the ability to take your blood test. You can also get a urine test strips and everything like that. You don't need a prescription to get those things. And you can manage what's going on here and keep track of it. And we always tell people, give us 90 days, but usually within 2 to 6 weeks, I don't care if you've been a type 2 diabetic for 40 years, usually in 2 to 4 weeks, it's gone. Don't cold turkey off your medication when you start a program. But as your blood sugar begins to drop, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the actual numbers. Okay, this is very simple stuff. There are no genetics involved. There's nothing autoimmune to it. There is no genetics. Well, we have 5 people in my family with type 2 diabetes. Well, that's because they're all eating badly. They're not taking the supplements. And they're eating foods that do not have the nutrients in it. So you do have to supplement. Now, I'm going to throw something in here just to add to this so people understand. We have a book called Hell's Kitchen, and it goes over the history of nutritional minerals, Hell's Kitchen. Let's start 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago to 5,000 years ago. Every human being in the world, no matter where they lived, no matter what race they were, okay, what religion they were, 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, every human being had access to all the same mineral nutrients, okay? And we were using wood and coal as fuel. And the wood ashes and coal ashes we would put into the gardens for our fertilizer. We would also put it in our food for spice that tastes a little like salts and stuff like that. And at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled a switch on the first commercial electric generating plant. And suddenly now, within weeks and months, we didn't have the access to wood ashes and coal ashes anymore. Now, this went around the world like in weeks, because in 1882, they had all these ships that were going from place to place to place in weeks and months, not like 3,000 years ago, when it took years or maybe not at all, when you had information that never got any place because it didn't have the ability to communicate it. And so you do have to supplement, because you're not getting the wood ashes anymore when you make electricity, whether it's hydroelectric or just burning or whatever. You're not getting, burning with natural gas or something like that. You're not getting the minerals anymore. So you do have to consciously, proactively supplement. And you can add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life if you do everything correctly. Again, that book, Hell's Kitchen, goes into step by step by step all the diseases that began to creep up. And it shows you very clearly we must supplement. You cannot just eat well. Any doctor who tells you, oh, don't waste your money on vitamins, minerals, just eat well, you get everything you need, those doctors should have their license suspended. They need to go back to school. And well, once they pass the test, then they can have their licenses back, okay? But when doctors say, oh, just don't waste your money on vitamins, minerals, just eat well, you get everything you need. Well, that was close to the truth 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, when we were using wood and coal for fuel and putting the wood ashes and coal ashes into our food and wood ashes and coal ashes into our gardens. But not now. You have no access to those things. Plants only need 3 minerals. We need 60. So you can't tell by looking at a carrot if it has 3 or 31. Okay. And you need 60 minerals. And nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform black around the crust of the earth. Nutritional minerals occur in veins like gold and silver. Okay. And so this is something you have to know, all the restrictions and limitations and why you must supplement. I only weigh 142 pounds, but I supplement for a 200-pound person. Okay. In addition to taking 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dosing twice a day, I take 2 bottles of the MSM a month. I take 3 breakfast, 3 lunch, 3 dinner. The collagen peptides, I take a scoop of that with my morning drink and start with the scoop of the evening drink. The collagen peptides take the place of the bone broth, which is where we were getting collagen, for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years. Okay, bone broth. And when that went away, where were we getting our collagen? And this is why we came up with the collagen peptides and the glucogel. And we'd add the glucogel and the collagen peptides to our Healthy Start Pack and turn it into the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And we have such great stories with athletes like Theo Ratliff and Evander Holyfield, that sort of thing. And a girl who became an All-American basketball player, Kelly Herron, and she just came to one of my meetings in Tennessee, never heard of her, but she had a terrible joint problems in her shooting arm, her right arm, her shoulder, and so we got her going on our program, the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And guess what? She became an All-American for women's basketball, and then she played professional women's basketball for 4 years after she graduated college at the University of Tennessee. And so we have all these wonderful testimonies and stories, and type 2 diabetes is no different. It's easy to prevent, easy to reverse. Same with type 1 diabetes, easy to prevent because you got to give the mothers to be, whether they're planning on having babies or not, you got to get all the nutrients. So if pregnancy does occur, these babies, the pancreas is getting what it needs. The islets of Langerhans are able to make the insulin, and then of course, diabetes will be a thing of the past. It's a simple nutritional deficiency. It's not genetic, and so we're very, very excited about that. And we are hitting it hard because we can and we will eliminate type 2, type 1, and of diabetes, and also we're going to eliminate the reactive hypoglycemia. So all that said, over to you, Dave and Pam.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach, and it does work. I know that. So there's many people have testified and given their testimonies in regards to, the different things that you've done for them, and I can attest for that. It takes longer for some people, depending if they've had, in my situation, parts removed. So you have to supplement because the body doesn't have an appendix. You have to have certain things working. And if you don't have those things anymore, then supplementing is something that I believe helped me. And I didn't want them practicing on me with any more drugs. So I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to have, real nutrition, from God, to our earth. And we give all the glory to God. That's exactly right. Because if it hadn't been for, him giving us these things, plants, the dirt, it's the soil. And we have to remember that U.S. Senate document 264 is, it's stated in their documents. So we have to do as much as we can to help save everybody else. So I thank you, Dr. Wallach. Anybody, if you please unmute, go ahead and ask Dr. Wallach a question or raise your hand. I see Laura's back from her trip, and if you can give us an update on Florida, we really would love to hear it.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, everything is good. Hi, Doc.
Hey.
Yeah, we just went through the hurricane, but we're good. We were very lucky. So Tampa Bay is okay. I hope everybody else in Florida, especially the northern part, is okay as well. But yeah, I just wanted to say we're okay. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Laura. Okay, anybody else have a question?
Doc, I have a question.
Okay.
Doc, this is Chris. I have a question. What makes the body prone to getting urea?
Urea? Well, urea is part of urine. Okay, when you urinate, some of these substances in the urine is called urea. That's why it's called urine. I'm not quite sure what you're asking me.
Well, what causes a person to be prone to getting urea? What is the imbalance in their diet, and what are they missing nutritionally so that they're producing urea?
Urea is a normal substance in urine.
So
Urea
if
is a
somebody
normal
is,
substance in urine.
so you can't have too much of it?
Well, you can have too much of anything. You can have too much of blood. You can have too much of lymph. You can have, too much of mucus. And so we need a little more information, because the questions that are being asked aren't pathology or disease or anything like that. It's kind of like saying, well, what makes oxygen? Okay.
Okay, I'll check into it, Doc.
Asking me what makes oxygen?
Carbon dioxide.
Okay, I'll check further into it, Doc.
I did
Thank you.
further into it, and so you get a question that I can answer. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. All right. Well, we're waiting for another question. Oh, you got a question?
Yeah, actually, I do. Hi, Doc. I have a question. You often recommend when you make your recommendation, you usually mention the collagen peptides. That would be the plain flavor. For someone who has joint issues, would it be better to use the joint health collagen, the collagen for the joint health, the one that's specifically designed for joints, or would the regular plain collagen peptides be fine?
No, collagen peptides is a source of collagen. It's good for your skin. It's good for your cartilage. It's good for your bones. It's good for your tendons and ligaments. It's good for the valve in your heart. Anything that's made out of collagen will be able to use the collagen peptides. It's kind of like the old bone broth, back hundreds of years ago when people were making bone broth. That's why we came out with it. When people stopped making bone broth, okay, when we stopped using wood and coal as fuel, they stopped making bone broth. We came out with our collagen peptides to take its place.
Yeah, I get that, and I think it's a great product. However, we have one that's specifically designed for joints. So would that be maybe better than the plain flavored collagen peptides?
No,
For someone who has arthritis,
No.
for example.
No, it's just whatever makes them feel comfortable, because collagen's collagen, just like iron is iron, chromium is chromium. Okay, and so it's one of those things, when you have a product, sometimes we would buy a company and we get their product, which is named something. It's the same stuff. And so any one of those things that is a collagen product, whether it has in its title bone collagen or collagen peptides, you're going to get the same benefit.
All right. Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Go ahead, Sherry.
Hi, good evening.
Oh, hi,
everyone.
Doc.
Good evening, Dr. Wallach. My question is, someone who is 140 pounds, she's about 70, and she was told that she has cataract in both eyes. I think she said from on a scale of 1 to 5, on the right eye it's a 2, and the left eye is a 1. So it's just forming. What should she do?
Okay, well, cataracts, of course, are the lens of the eye turning cloudy. Okay, and this could be due to osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the optic nerve and the optic vein and the optic artery, not getting enough nutrition in there. Okay, and the cataracts are not due to old age; they're due to deficiencies. Okay, and does this person have ringing in the ears? How many times do they wake up at night to urinate? We need to know those things to be able to answer the question correctly.
I don't think so. I don't think she has any other problems, because she had a physical exam, I think about a year ago, and everything was fine.
Okay, well, doctors don't know anything about osteoporosis of the skull.
Right.
Do you know how many times she wakes up at night to urinate? None, once, 3 times?
Probably once or twice. That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's early osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the optic nerve, which is cranial nerve number 2. You need to get a hold of that book and CD set. It's all in your head. And go to chapter 2. And it goes into cataracts and all the things that are caused by the skull squeezing the cranial nerve number 2. Okay, so you need to treat the osteoporosis of the skull as well as the eye. We have the occutive, right? Take 3 of those twice a day to 140 pounds. Okay, 3 twice a day, occutive. And then need the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the MSM, glucogel, and Ultimate Daily Classic tablets for more circulation. And sometimes you can get the cataracts to stop progressing. Sometimes you can get them to improve a little bit, measurably improved. And sometimes you have to have a surgery. And so I would do all you can first to see if you can improve it by fixing the osteoporosis of the skull. And again, using the occutive, very, very important there. Wouldn't hurt to throw in the I-26, which has to do with the white matter of the brain, okay, which is attached to the, let's see here, cranial nerve number 2, okay, the optic nerve. And then, of course, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 2 or 3 of those twice a day, so you get more circulation coming through the optic artery and the optic vein, okay? And so that's the direction I would go with that.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, I heard a gentleman in the background. Was there another caller?
Yes, it was me. It's Ken over by Dave and the Thumb. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hey.
Hey, I got a comment about the gal that was calling in about the urea. You know, when I was dehydrated, I thought that, I don't know if my urine had like odor to it. And then maybe we could outline proper hydration because, and the importance of not drinking fluorinated water also, because that could be causing problems if people are taking supplements and not hydrating properly, and they're still drinking like juice or maybe even orange juice or something that's just acidic, or maybe coffee, just acidic things. I know our body can regulate our acidity naturally. I might not be calling it, it's our alkaline, it regulates our alkaline. But I'm under the impression that in order for our body to regulate alkali, to keep it where our body likes it, it leaches calcium out of our bones. And that's why our bones aren't regenerating properly any longer also. And doctors got pills for that. And
well, we
so
have
I just wanted to add that basically.
Yeah, we have nutrition for when your bones are losing minerals, okay, osteoporosis. The medical system in America makes $2.3 trillion, 2.3 trillion with a T dollars, just treating the symptoms of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a simple nutritional deficiency disease. It has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with genetics. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. You got to take all the nutrients. You got to stay away from the bad stuff, maximize absorption, and you can live to be 120 and not get osteoporosis. But if you're doing everything bad, you're drinking soft drinks, you're drinking a lot of coffee, and you're not taking supplements. Well, I'm eating well. I don't need to take. My doctor says if I just eat well, I don't need to take any vitamins and minerals. Those doctors should have their licenses suspended. They need to go back to school for a year. And when they pass all the tests, then they can get their licenses back. You cannot get everything you need from your food because plants do not make minerals. I'll repeat that. Plants do not make minerals. Plants only need 3 minerals. We need 60. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And I want everybody to get a hold of this book, Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen. It goes into the 3,000 to 5,000 years we're using wood and coal for our source of fuel. We're taking the ashes and putting them in our food and putting them in our gardens. We're getting our minerals that way. Well, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, okay, when Thomas Edison pulled the switch, suddenly now we didn't have access to those wood ashes and coal ashes anymore because we were using electricity. And that went around the world in like weeks. And they screwed up the entire world, okay, with electricity. Electricity is the bad boy here, okay, because you're not getting any vitamins and minerals from electricity, okay, like we did burning wood and coal. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it all. The truth
Yeah, so
is
again, that
really
book, Hell's
valuable
Kitchen,
these days.
the book Hell's Kitchen covers 3,000 to 5,000 years of everybody in the world having equal access to minerals because we're using wood and coal as fuel. I mean, that was a great time for humanity all over the world because we were getting our minerals because we were using wood and coal for fuel. We were putting the wood ashes and coal ashes into our food and into our gardens. Well, once we went to electricity, that source we had for 3,000 to 5,000 years went away, and doctors said, do not take vitamins and minerals, you're wasting your money, just eat well, get everything you need. That is absolutely not true.
100%.
Okay, guys, I think we got a gal in the background that had a question. I heard a voice.
Okay, we got time for one more question here, quick.
I didn't
Hello?
hear, but I need to ask this one question because we are getting eaten up by mosquitoes here. Is there something, I know, we can use silver, but is there something else that we can do to stop them or stop any infections?
Okay, well, mosquitoes lay their eggs in water, and the babies, the little mosquito larvae grow up in water. Okay, so having rainwater standing around in your backyard, pools and all that kind of stuff, buckets of water. This is where the mosquitoes breed and put their eggs and grow babies, okay? And the same thing is true in your house, okay? What you want to do is make sure that you don't have standing water. They love standing water, like the toilet and that kind of stuff. Okay, any place that there's standing water, they will lay eggs. Your bathtub, your toilet, you have water, a water bowl for your dog, you have a water bowl for your parrot, all this kind of stuff. Okay, and so you really have to pay attention to standing water. That is the source of mosquitoes.
Thank you for that, Dr.
Okay,
Wall, because, storms coming from, north, south, east, and west. I think we all should be aware of those things. And so what I did was I had gotten some water because, when our water goes out, we can't always flush the toilet. So we save water. And then I put some water in. I put some minerals in it. And is that okay to put minerals in a?
Yeah, it's okay to put minerals in it, but what I would do is I would have, we get these 10-gallon plastic bottles of water, and they have a top on them. You screw the top on. And so we have about 10 of those in the house. That's where you get our water for putting in the toilet, and putting in the bathtub, and using it for cooking and everything like that. But there's a top on it. Okay, so it's not open to the mosquitoes to lay eggs in it. That's how we've gotten around it. You can get these big plastic bottles. I think they have like 10 gallons of water in them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Everybody.
Okay, one more question, Doc. Jacob, my 10-year-old grandson asked me a question today. I don't know if you've got the answer, but go ahead, Jake. Ask Doc real quick.
So, doctor, why is bird poop white since other animals' poop is brown? And also human beings' poop is brown.
Okay, I apologize. I missed that. Why are what?
Why is bird poop white since animals' poop are brown?
Okay, well, the reason why birds' poop is white is that's the urea. Because when they poop, they're actually urinating and pooping at the same time. Whereas a mammal has the poop coming out of your bowels and you pee out of your other end. Whereas birds, they pee and poop out of the same hole.
Oh, wow. Oh, holy cow. That's a great answer. Thank you.
That
That's
might help Miss Chris in her question too.
Okay, everybody, God bless. Thank you so much, Dave and Pam.
God bless
God bless
you,
you.
Doc. You're awesome.
Doc.
Love you,
Thank
Doc.
you.
Thanks,
Love you
everybody.
guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks
Bye.
for coming. See you next week.